Today we have the pleasure of speaking to Hannah Beecham, and Hannah has set up something called Red January, which is something that's Rise Every Day, a charity that encourages movement and mental health. And we've just had a lovely conversation with Hannah, haven't we?
Yeah, she's great. She's great.
She really is.
Inspired me definitely to be joining that, getting up every day and doing some activity in January.
And so we've had a lovely conversation with her, haven't we, about Red January, what it is, how it can help people who maybe have mental health struggles, or just anybody who may be feeling a little bit more inactive and wanting to try and find a way of getting going, getting moving.
Beat the January blues.
Yes. And
stay tuned and listen to her, because she is very inspiring, and I'm sure by the end of it, you will be signing up to Red January as well.
Absolutely. So stay tuned, like, subscribe, follow, which is great. And here's going to be Hannah. So welcome, Hannah. Thank you for being with us today. What I suppose I'd like to start with asking you is if you can tell us more about Red January.
Oh, I would love to. Thank you for having me a part of this. I'm really looking forward to our conversation.
We're really looking forward to it as well.
Good. So Red January, we're going into our 11th year this year, and Red stands for Rise Every Day. And the focus is very much on empowering people to rise every day in a way that works for them and move their bodies every day during January. And why January? It's very much rooted in the fact that there's so much evidence out there to show that as a nation, we are much less active in the winter. Increase as well in isolation at this time of year, less social connections, and also a huge impact on people's mood and energy levels. And there's evidence to show that if you do experience mental health challenges, often your symptoms can worsen in the winter. And that was certainly the case for my mum, the inspiration behind Red January. So 11 years in, we've had thousands of people across the country all embracing movement in a way that works for them and their lifestyle.
Amazing. That's amazing.
Yeah. Hannah, could you tell us a little bit more about the inspiration for this, where it started? Because I know you mentioned it was about your mum and that she was going through depression. And I'm curious about what it was that you were seeing in your mum and where you then got to that place of, hey, this would be a good thing to do. This might help.
Yeah, so my mum, for a number of years, has experienced severe depression. And there was a common thing that kept happening, and that was in the winter especially. My mum was typically getting signed off work. She was often retreating to her bedroom. I was noticing that her symptoms were definitely worsening during that time. And it just really got me thinking about what was out there to support my mum during that period. And so often what I was hearing is even people in my life, myself included, I'm fortunate right now that I don't experience mental health challenges, but still was feeling it during the winter. And it just got me thinking, like I said, about what was out there to support my mum and all of us during that time. And originally, Red started with me signing my mum and I up to a walking marathon, which basically came from an experience I had with my mum. I remember going home and my mum was in bed at the time, and leaving that experience thinking, I don't want this to be it for my mum. And it got me thinking about the things that brought my mum joy and things that we used to do to connect when I was a child as well. And it all kept coming back to walking. And so I thought it'd be so lovely to have something for us both to share in an experience. And a walking marathon might feel quite extreme, given that my mum, bless her,
It does want it.
My mum,
she's got to be thankful it wasn't a running marathon.
Very true. I don't know if Red January would exist if I'd signed us up to a running marathon. but a walking marathon, because my mum's a really keen walker, and has spent her whole life like turning to walking. We've often had like family dogs and things like that. And so I knew it was achievable for my mum. I really knew that. And also I knew that we had a few months to train for it as well. And those months were during the winter time. So
it's all timed really well in terms of having that plan.
Yeah.
To have that goal, that aim, something to head for.
Exactly that.
I wonder what was it like, because I'm hearing that, it must have been really hard, I imagine, for your mum, but hard also for you and maybe your family with, experiencing your mum going through what she was. And when somebody's depressed, it can be really hard, can't it? Because as a loved one, you can feel very helpless. And I'm wondering if that, what that was like for you, whether you experienced that, and also hearing then what you wanted to do, that you really wanted to do something, whether that was coming somewhere out of that experience of helplessness. I don't know if that fits at all.
Yeah, it really does. And I think the thing that I often go back to in that experience is I felt like I really missed my mum. I really missed her. And my mum was still there, but there was, in terms of like that interaction and the way my mum saw herself, like for me growing up, my mum was like fiercely independent, really had this adventurous spirit as well, kind to her core, just such a beautiful human. And obviously none of that necessarily diminished when my mum was experiencing severe depression, but certainly I felt like her light was dimming. And obviously for anyone that you love, you're like, you never want anyone's light to dim, especially people that you love. So it's
of course.
Yeah, and I just really missed my mum. And so I often now, obviously 11 years on from that, often think about, what was it, as you were describing them, Ros, like what was it that kind of sparked this idea, and found myself online researching like walks that we could do together. And I think because lots of my childhood memories are rooted in us going out as a family walking, and often me and my mum would have the deepest conversations when we were side by side walking. We would air a lot of things.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Lovely. It sounds a really lovely way that you recognised a thread of connection through your childhood, through your family. And often I think we find that, don't we, when my kids were teenagers, just sort of being side by side in a car rather than, face to face. And sometimes I think we find that notion of just walking side by side rather than having that eye contact can sometimes really help us connect, can't it? In a safer way, perhaps.
Massively. And that's always been
Hannah,
the experience for my mum.
Can I just ask, how old were you then?
How old was I then? Sorry.
Which bit?
I should know
When you were, because there's quite something, isn't it, I'm guessing you were quite young. I mean, you look young now. Maybe you're not.
You've got really good genes.
And if you have, please tell me what you use.
So I'm 40. So
okay,
you definitely don't look that.
You were 29?
I was 29, yeah. I was 29. Right. And I think as well during that time, I'd moved to London a few years before. So my family's in the Midlands. So I was kind of going back up and down quite a lot during that time as well. And I don't know about you. I don't have children yet, but there's something in like leaving your parents when they're in that place as well. And really it was just really heartbreaking to come back down to London. And actually, again, the thing I found with signing us both up to this thing is that even if we weren't training for it together in person, which we would often do when I would come home, naturally we would go out for a walk together with the family dog. But also we find that when we weren't together, we were messaging each other about our walks. So again, we were like training.
That thread.
And now when I look at the Red community, that's what's instilled in the Red community as well, because a vast proportion of the Red community have never met in person, but every day they share in a similar experience. There's that common ground of us all moving to support our well-being, no matter how we move, but sharing that experience. And I just think that is such a beautiful thing, that no matter who you are, what your background is, like you've got that, there's that common thread.
And you're supporting each other.
Yeah, exactly that. And we've got a 4-year-old in the community, Jack, who takes part with his school. He does like laps around the school playground, and then like a 98-year-old, Brenda, who goes out for a daily walk with her dog as well. And it's just this 4-year-old and 98-year-old and everyone in between. It's just...
That's so wonderful.
It's a beautiful thing.
It used to be, if I'm right in thinking, it used to be run every day, didn't it?
That's right. Yeah, that's
because
right.
I remember doing it one year for 7 days, and then I gave up because my foot was hurting.
Oh, I'm sorry. I spoke to physio invoice.
It's changed to rise every day.
Well, I am, because if it was run every day, I wouldn't be doing it.
Well, that's one of the... Well, both of you have expressed the why we evolved it. And actually, because my background's in marketing and communication, so I was often thinking about, if we're going to share this idea, having spoken to my mum about the idea in terms of beating the winter blues, having a goal, building a community.
How did she take that up, incidentally? How did she experience your suggestion?
I remember it so well. We went out for some lunch together, and I was like, I've got this idea. Because you're not alone. We're not alone in experiencing what we are in the winter. And I remember my mum feeling like her posture changed, and there was real energy and excitement. And I remember so vividly when we started to share the idea of Red January, waking up on New Year's Day, I think it was 2016, and speaking to my mum on the phone, and we saw that there was like thousands of people joining this Facebook community and sharing, I've never looked forward to January. This is just what I need. Like, winter sucks. I'm feeling like crappy after Christmas, and all the things that we're often all feeling at that time. And I remember chatting to my mum, and I feel like she must have been on Facebook the whole day, if I'm honest, which isn't that healthy in itself. But I feel like she's on Facebook for hours, like, gosh, Hannah, this is like really taken off. There's like, and I think for my mum as well, I often think she's still a part of that online Red community, but just normalising the way my mum was feeling, normalising the way we all feel at that time, was such a special thing. My mum wasn't alone in having felt what she was feeling, and it's that in and of itself is huge.
Yeah. It's a tricky time for a lot of people, isn't it? For a lot of reasons, and not least because we don't hardly get any light.
Yes.
Christmas is over. There's nothing much to look forward to apart from the cold.
And Christmas itself can bring up lots of things for
Christmas
people, can't it?
Yeah.
Massively. So we take the lights down after Christmas, don't we? Like, it's literally January, we like take light out. Yeah.
When we need them the most.
Massively.
So I'm signing up this year. Definitely next year, sorry. I'm definitely going to be doing it. It won't be running every day.
No. We've evolved it to rise every day for like I said, for all the reasons. And we did that quite early on as well. So it's been rise every day for about 8 years now. And rooted in behaviour change principles. Like
I was thinking that,
part of this is the likes of Dr. Brendan Stubbs, who's now the world's leading researcher into movement and mental health. And it's all, at its very core, is behaviour change. And that's, for me, the thing that I'm most proud of about this, is it's meeting people where they're at. It's not this prescription of you need to run 60 kilometres in a month, and that worked for some, not for all. And so we still remain one of the only things out there that very much is about what works for you.
And that's so important, isn't it? Bearing in mind what you're talking about and people's different mental health struggles, and how hard sometimes something very simple to one person can seem, even just getting out of bed. And yet, that can be fine for somebody else. But if it's a really hard thing to do, to literally be able to rise out of bed is something perhaps huge for that person who's experiencing whatever they're going through.
Massively.
Yeah, and one of the treatments for depression is actually called behavioural activation. And it's all about when a person is depressed, they tend to reduce doing the things that give them meaning, sense of achievement, pleasure. connection. And it's about gradually bringing in that behavioural change of actually doing some of these things that give you pleasure, a sense of achievement. And that's what you do there, isn't it? It's what's incorporated into Red January.
Massively. And that shared connection, like we talked about earlier as well, it's so often when I meet up with Redders, that's what they coined that term as well, which I love, because I'm a Redder too, and it feels so nice to be that. It's such a lovely thing. And I often, obviously during this period as well, get out and meet people, and the thing that comes up is, it's been so lovely to share this experience with my family. Like often at this time of year, my son's up in his bedroom playing on computer games, and actually we've been getting out a bit more and talking. People are starting to get to know each other as individuals, not just colleagues as well, and the power of movement in breaking down some of those things that can often come up at work. And so it's been so lovely to get out there and just hear the value of connection and community, that doesn't just take place in the winter. I see and hear people connecting all year round as well, and meeting up at events and arranging to go on walks together, and it's really heartwarming to see all of that in action.
And it shows from what you're saying about how many people are engaging. You know, it sounds like it spread very quickly. I don't know whether that was the case. I mean, I know you've been going 11 years, but from when, you started with your mum, and then having this idea that you wanted more people to experience this, it sounds like it kind of spread really quickly. I don't know whether that was the case, but also shows how much it was wanted. Massively. How much, like you say, those people have gravitated towards joining and being a part of that and opening up their worlds and their communities, whether it's their family or whatever. It sounds really lovely, kind of domino effect to spread out.
It really was. And the thing that I love, there's so many things I love about the community, but one of them is it has been pretty organic. We don't have big budgets or anything like that. It's very much driven by the individual's experience. So we partnered with the University of Oxford a few years ago, who are our research partner. And one of the things that came out of that was people were hearing and engaging with Red January through a friend, through a loved one, through a family member. So it's largely still word of mouth. And I love that that's the way people are hearing about Red January, through someone else's experience, not through big billboards and things like that. It's personal. And I just love that what started with me and my mum, which was a really personal thing, we've obviously shared our experience, and then other people are doing the same. And I just think, again, there's just something so lovely about that. And also the partnerships along the way. So for the past decade, we've had charity partnerships, including with Mind, the leading mental health charity. And again, working with them to support their community as well. And just seeing those communities all come together around something that we all need. And as you say, Ros, as well, there's a reason why it's blossomed so organically in this way, because there's a real need for it. We wouldn't be here 11 years on without that. So it needs to continue. It definitely needs to exist, because people are looking for things like this.
Yeah. And you talk about, I don't know whether was it Jack, the little boy, and then the lady who was, are there other stories that you could share with us where people, how they are benefiting from this? Yeah.
So I spend a lot of time with Redders year on year. And the thing that we often hear is people talking about their improvement and their self-esteem and how they show up in the world. I remember hearing a few years ago, someone was talking about the fact that they, for the first time, felt confident going to an interview. And another talking about the fact that they were able to have a conversation with their husband that they hadn't felt brave enough to have before. And so often the stories I hear aren't about movement. They aren't about physical activity. They're about the wider impact on someone's well-being and how they show up in the world. And I just love that then it's instilling these habits for people to be who they want to be. And like I said, the thing that I often hear is around self-esteem. and actually stepping into the year wanting to show up in the way that they know they can, without the pressure of the new year stuff that comes up. I don't know about you, but January's always felt a little bit odd to me. It's always been that new year, new me kind of thing. And so to know that people are starting in a way that truly works for them is such a beautiful thing.
February is my worst month, though. Can you start something up for February, please?
Go through the rainbow. Each month could be a different colour.
We should, shouldn't we? One thing we are doing, actually, because we often get that question when people are like, but what happens on the 1st of February? Like, people are starting to like build this habit, and but one of the things we're working with Dr. Brendan Stubbs and a wider team that are just incredibly passionate about the power of movement is finding ways that we can ensure that people are feeling supported and instilling habits that will support them year round as well. And also the work that we could be doing at Red January to collaborate with other incredible organisations that are doing wonderful work year round, that are really aligned with our values around making sure movement is inclusive and accessible. What could we be doing together year round? So one thing we trialled actually a few years ago with Decathlon is movement breaks. So we were looking to work with kind of workplaces across the country around the idea of implementing really short, regular movement breaks throughout the working day. And Decathlon were the first to trial it. And it won't come as a massive surprise, but the insights from all the survey data that they did showed that people were happier in the workplace, were feeling more productive, were feeling calmer, were feeling supported by their workplace as well. So much so that
what did that mean then on the movement breaks? What was involved in that?
Yeah, so they were looking to do, it was every couple of hours, like a 20-minute movement break, which was celebrated in the organisation. So it wasn't seen as you're taking another break. So very much from the top down, people were getting out there and going for a little walk around the block. The thing that obviously helped in Decathlon's circumstance is they have got spaces where people can move.
Yes.
So we were looking to bring that model into other people's workplace as well by providing some activity kit, things that people could go and quickly do, so it felt like a natural part of their day. There wasn't much effort in starting to move. Things like,
rather than a coffee break, you go and have a movement break.
It's that.
Yeah.
Someone shared recently, actually, I think it was Janet Olmsted, who's a behaviour change coach as well, who's supported on Red January for years and years now, and was talking about the day where it was you could take a cigarette break. Like, we're looking to replace the cigarette break with a movement break. And so we're still in the early days of that work. ASICs have done brilliant work around desk breaks as well. So there's a real appetite for it. But as with all these things in terms of behaviour change, it's going to take a little bit of time to make sure that we're reducing the barriers so it feels frictionless, where people can embrace it no matter which environment they're doing it in. So that's one of the ambitions that we've got in terms of our year-round work.
Bring in the evidence with that. It's lovely having that combined experience, isn't it, where you're able to work together. These links are great, aren't they? Because then you've got that evidence that you can give to people and feedback that this is, it works.
Yeah, exactly that.
Mm-hmm. Have you got any... I love statistics.
I don't. Ali does.
Have you got any evidence that you can share around what movement does for people's mental well-being and how that link is between movement and self-esteem? Yeah.
So from our University of Oxford partnership, one of the metrics that they were measuring a few different metrics in terms of inactivity levels and things like that. But one was over half of the people that joined Red January. In this particular year, it was around 60,000 people that joined Red January. And over half of those that participated in the survey experienced a significant improvement in their happiness levels and in their stress levels and in their anxiety levels.
Wow.
And the thing that really struck me by the results as well is that the people that experienced the greatest benefits were those that at the start of January were inactive or fairly active. So actually what we saw was that in this particular study, 32% of people that joined Red January moved from being inactive to fairly active. And of those, they experienced, the greatest improvements in their overall well-being.
It's a good percentage, isn't it?
Yeah.
But also,
numbers are good.
Numbers. I'm not saying they're not good. It's just I'm not quite as obsessed with them as you are. I think maybe I trust things a little bit more without it. But also, I'm noticing you say how many people joined. Like 60,000, did you say, in that period or whatever? I mean, that's incredible spreading of the word.
Yeah. So during the time Red January has been in existence, so it's been just over 270,000 people that have joined Red January.
What does that feel like for you, Hannah, bearing in mind you started with you and your mum and how you were feeling about what your mum was going through? What's that like for you now to reflect back on that?
Yeah, it's such an interesting one, I guess. Like I described earlier, because I'm a redder as well. I feel really grateful that it exists because I just think it's needed. And also, similar to you, Ros, I'm not really, numbers mean something, but they're not the everything to me. And actually the times that I feel in my most kind of reflective state, as it were, is when I'm chatting to readers one-on-one. So even though that feels incredible, knowing that community and that support is out there spanning the country, which is a beautiful thing, often the things that really move me are those really personal stories of people that come back year on year, and actually the goal for them is something different because they're at a different point in their life. And that's the thing with Red January as well, that we just feel, again, really proud of, is that because it is the way that it is, it's about rising every day in a way that works for you. You can take what you need from it every year. It's never the same. And yeah, those are the things that genuinely move me, is when you hear those stories.
Yeah. And with no pressure, that sort of rising every day, meeting people where they are with whatever. I think it's so lovely taking out any pressure that might be, which, some people might like, as you said earlier, in terms of maybe running a marathon or whatever. But generally, in terms of how people might feel and mental health, I think it's lovely taking that pressure off.
Massively.
Meeting people where they are.
Yeah. And the thing, I mentioned the 32% statistic because that's the one that we're like, there's so much work to be done in reducing the barriers to people enjoying the benefits of movement. We should all feel that, no matter our background, no matter our location. And so the role of Red January is to, over the coming years, look to reach, support, empower as many more people as we can. That for them, when they think of activity, they've put this label on themselves of, I'm just not active, I'm just not that person. But
it also covers people that may have disabilities or
exactly that.
Mental health issues.
Yeah.
It covers everyone, doesn't it? Because
Massively.
everyone in some way can hopefully move something.
Yeah. And we did, are you familiar with the We Are Undefeatables campaign?
No, I don't know that.
I would recommend, it's via Sport England, so the main governing body around physical activity in the UK. And We Are Undefeatables for years have worked together with anyone that experiences a disability to, again, understand what the barriers are and work together as a collective to start to reduce those barriers, and to educate all of us around what that looks and feels like, and make sure that we're, again, able to meet people where they're at as well. And so we've often collaborated with We Are Undefeatables because that's the thing in this space, and we've done it since day dot. We've never worked in isolation, and you've mentioned earlier in terms of how it's blossomed, but it's been always about collaborative efforts with partner organisations that are specialised as well. We want to learn, and we need to understand what communities, like their experiences are, and you can never do that. You can never do that on your own.
Hannah, what have you learned over this 11 years? Because this is, I'd imagine there's a lot that you've learned from what's happened, who you've collaborated with, the people you've met, the stories you've heard and seen.
The biggest thing for me is around keeping it simple. And really just, again, it comes back to that behaviour change side of things. But for me, I feel like we're in the situation that we are now around inactivity and mental health challenges, and because often what's been shared isn't coming from that place. It's coming from a place where it might need investment of money, it might require people to look a certain way, and it feels like we've gone backwards, whereas actually getting to the essence of human, what it means to be human, keeping things simple. And I know that sounds in and of itself really simple, but it is. That's been the overarching thing year on year, is trying to create a frictionless experience of keeping it really simple. And that's been, I think, having been a part of this for so long, that's been the thing that, as much as we say the benefits of keeping it simple, that's been one of the biggest challenges, because simple isn't sexy. Simple doesn't always attract sponsorship. Simple doesn't always attract funding. I'm just being very candid. It hasn't done for years. So it's definitely come with its challenges when you're so steadfast in making sure that this is rooted in behaviour change, keeping things simple. It feels like, I feel hopeful. I think a lot of us feel really hopeful that we're on a curve with this and people are really starting to get it, because we can't continue as we are as a nation. And so I think for so long we've been saying the same things, and it feels like it's starting to be heard, starting to be listened to. But I think that's been the biggest learning for me. There's no, I guess, as is the case with behaviour change, there's no quick wins. And there's been no quick wins with Red January. It's been a case of truly nurturing this for 11 years and beyond, hopefully. So it's, it's having patience.
It's a bit of a parallel. It's also having, I mean, I'm wondering if there's a parallel in that with your experience, your personal experience with your mum, and, experiencing her mental health challenges maybe over the years, I don't know, but that first step, noticing maybe that walking marathon and thinking this is a connection, it sounds like there's a parallel to what you're saying, that was the path that you had to take. It was slow, it was each step, it was each time maybe there was a little bit more of a walk, a little bit longer. And I guess that's been part of this journey with Red January as well, isn't it? It just sounds a bit of a parallel in some ways.
Massively. And I guess I think there's definitely been times throughout this where I do feel a huge responsibility to the Red community, because until we can see that it's not having societal impact, we will keep showing up in some shape or form. But there's definitely been times where I felt a massive responsibility, and I think that echoes the relationship with my mum as well, especially during that time, and often would put quite a lot of pressure on myself as well to make sure that every year we were coming back bigger, better, stronger, and I think as time has gone on, it's been actually just making sure that we're there for people, but recognising that what we've done with Red January is purposely kept it simple so people can take from it what they want. And just as long as that community feels like it's safe and supportive, then we're already doing a wonderful job. But there's definitely been times, because like I said, we haven't had the big flashy spends, and it's a hard thing to cut through noise and to try and really reach people. And but yeah, just showing up each year and just hoping that people's experience is enough to then hopefully inspire more people as well.
Well, it sounds like it is. And it also, I imagine having the partnerships that you do is also going to be helping that. So I imagine the numbers in this can also help in terms of that, kind of getting that across to the people who could perhaps have even more influence on the nation, as it were. I don't know whether you're kind of heading towards the government, because that would probably be a good thing too, isn't it? So that you can kind of get it out there.
Massively. We're just knocking on the door at the moment, actually. So we will let you know when we crack that door open.
Yeah. So for people that are watching or listening to us now, and they're thinking, "Oh, I would like to do that, but that's not for me. I don't think I'll be able to do it," or they can't get the motivation. You know, people often feel like they can't get motivated to do that every day.
Yeah.
Is there any advice you would give people on that?
Yeah. So the first thing I would say is, if you are on social, is to join the Red January community online. So it's just at Red January UK. And just to start to get a feel for what the Red community is. And our hope is that there'll be stories on there that really relate to where you're at as well. And also it's to say, in terms of rising every day, again, what you'll hopefully see from this experience, and even if you decide not to join this year, but you want to kind of absorb the experience through others, is to say that rising can mean anything that works for you. And it can mean taking a step out of bed, doing a stretch, setting yourself a goal. And so it's to say that there's no failure in any of this. It's very much just waking up and seeing how you feel that day, because motivation, as we know, ebbs and flows. And so what you might deem as, I'm going to set myself this challenge, actually you might find that there's times where that needs to adapt, and that's okay, because we're human. So it's we'd encourage people to join the online Red community now, and just start to get a sense of what it feels like, and see if that feels good to you as well.
Because by the time I think this comes out, it's probably going to be November. So probably a good time for people to start looking and thinking about what that might look like.
And feel inspired.
Yeah, amazing. And then we start our warm-up to January, because it's very much not about just starting on January 1st. We're keen to make sure that people are feeling like they're able to start rising every day at the point in which they come across Red January as well. And so that's the ambition.
February sounds like that's the one for you then.
Yeah.
Well, no, definitely I'll be January. I'm moving through to February.
Has it already established as a new behavioural change by then?
Yeah, exactly.
Well, we can put all the information, we will put all the links, won't we, into our show notes. And that's a lovely idea, isn't it, that people can join at any stage, at any time, in any way.
Yeah.
It's that. And for the first year, actually, we're introducing, so we're evolving the model of Red January. So for the first year, working alongside Dr. Brendan Stubbs, we'll be inviting people to take part in a pre-January and a post-January survey. So it's very much rooted in your activity levels, your mood, your social connections, all of those things. With the focus very much being on improving your experience as part of Red January, again, year on year. But also what I touched upon earlier in terms of the bigger systematic changes as well, like the bigger societal challenges that we're all experiencing, with the ambition that the insights that come through this can support policy change, can support other initiatives in this space.
Brilliant.
Rooting it all in behaviour change, like how can Red January really truly support people on a societal level through data as well, population health. So that's something that we're introducing this year as well.
And so what is Red January set up as at the moment?
Yeah, so Red January is ACIC. but we are transitioning to becoming our
That's
own
a community
charity.
interest. What is CIC's community
Community
interest
interest company, yeah.
company? Yes.
And then we're transitioning to becoming our own charity from this year. So our model to date has been very much rooted in partnerships with other charities, specifically mental health charities. So it's a shift into us becoming our own charity, and then with the ambition that in the future we'll be able to fund and support other incredible movement and mental health projects across the UK as well.
Excellent. That sounds a really exciting progression.
Yeah, definitely. Definitely.
And what a huge achievement. I mean, I hear that there's an element of responsibility and pressure that can sometimes maybe you can feel, but what a huge journey for you, with your, starting with your mum and into your own family experience of that to where you are now. And how's your mum doing now?
Oh, my mum's good, thank you. Yeah, she's I guess with all these things, isn't it? It's never linear with your mental health, and there's definitely ups and downs. But my mum right now today is in a really good place, enjoying her work, daily walks with the dog. Bless the dog. I bet out in the rain, it's chucking it down at the moment. So,
and that's another thing, isn't it? That kind of company of pets, that can be a really helpful thing, can't it? And also, with the rising every day, when we do have pets, we have to feed them, we have to get up, we have to do things, don't we? So I can imagine for your mum with a dog, that's a lovely thing to be able to walk with.
Massively. Yeah, Tilly has been.
And are you still carrying on your walking with her too when you go back?
Oh, every time, every time. Yeah, and it's like a natural thing for me and my mum just to go out for a walk together. So it's just it's so funny actually you just said that, because I don't think it had really dawned on me until recently that now it feels so simple to like get out the door with my mum. And that thinking about the progress and thinking about is just a huge thing. But yeah, every time I go home we go for a walk together, which is just great. I never take it for granted, ever. I always take a photo of the back of my mum walking with the dog every time I've been with her, just to capture that moment. Again, it's just a thing I've started doing now, just because, like I said,
hold on to, isn't it? Is in those times where you've perhaps felt the sort of more helplessness, or the sort of not knowing where the hope is, and then finding something that gave you that, to have that reminder, even, like you say, it's not linear for people, isn't it? And sort of in the times where maybe it's a bit more difficult, that you've got that as a reminder.
Yeah, always. It's one of my, that's when I think of my mum, I think of that. My mum just out there in nature with her dog. It just represents so much, doesn't it? It's just fresh air and freedom, and it's beautiful.
Well, I guess that image represents so many other people that have now benefited from it as well.
Oh, yeah, there's something in that actually. Maybe even for this year, because often people share their photos and videos and things like that.
Maybe that's the photo for you to share.
Yeah, definitely. Oh, you've sparked an idea. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Hannah. It's been an absolute pleasure to have you on here and to hear about Red January and the origins of it. And I will definitely be signing up.
Me too.
Good. It would be so lovely.
And I hope that people who listen and watch will also be inspired to do the same. And particularly now, because if your research in a way is coming in before and after January, it would be great if people can engage with that and start the before bit before.
Yeah. And it can be anyone, anywhere in the world can join.
They can. So we launched in Canada actually 2 years ago as well. So
I was going to ask you about international, because I know you sort of mentioned nationally, but I wondered if it's spreading out.
Yeah.
Because we've got, sort of international people who view, hopefully.
Yeah, we've got
we do,
people from the US.
That'd be nice that people can join anywhere.
And other countries, but
can join anywhere. And that's part of our inclusivity value as well. But we launched in Canada 2 years ago. And actually, one of our ambitions in the future is to collaborate with Northern Hemisphere countries, people that are experiencing higher inactivity levels, and the role of Red January and stopping the drop of activity, what it can do for other countries as well. So yeah, there's a lot to do. There's a lot of exciting ambition, and truthfully, it feels like we're only just getting going. Like we've only just scratched the surface of what this could
There's
be.
so much potential, isn't there, where you can go as well, where you've come from and where you can go.
Massively.
Well, I'll be following, see where it goes.
Yeah, absolutely. Me too.
Thank you.
So thank you, and well done, Hannah.
Yeah.
It's fantastic.
Oh, thank you. It's been such a joy spending time with you both. I feel like I'm there with you on a on a comfy chair. It's been just so lovely to spend some time with you. And for everyone out there who's listening, I just hope that if this is your first time coming to Red January, you get to experience something for yourself this year as well, and it supports you in a way that you need.
That's a lovely message to end on.
Yeah, thank you.
So yes, thank you for joining us. Thank you for being with us. Keep in touch with us if you can, and let us know how it progresses.
Thank you.
We will love to hear.
Thank you.